Welcome back to the 5-7 podcast. I am Mike Salinas, joined once again by the man who's the yin to my yang, the guy who actually pickled the beast, not Benny the Jet Rodriguez. He's the Fonzie to my Chachi, the Donald Trump to my Wendy's. He's a U.S. veteran, a husband, a father. He specializes in IT and has burgeoning passions for yoga and podcasting. He is Mike Prieto, but you, and only you, may call him Pri.
Let's get into it.
Shall we? Now, this is not a political podcast, so this little rant I do at the beginning is just for fun. But I will note that Donald Trump does love fast food, and he fed Clemson University, the team that just won the college football championship, cold fast food this past week. I don't know if you caught that. But can you imagine him when dinner isn't quite ready? I mean, in an Arnold Schwarzenegger format, Melania, you're fired. My daughter's delivery discount is expired. Give me the Arby's 5 for 5. Yeah, I mean, what is he going to do? I don't know if Arby's even offers a 5 for 5. I don't know.
Did they say why he gave them fast food?
No, I guess because of the government shutdown. That was kind of like all they could get.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like, sorry guys, no beef au jus. All we have is just some curly fries.
Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. I can't believe that, that they would still do that. I mean, considering it's the White House, you would think that they could, have it catered. Does it have to be cooked by the White House staff? Does it have to be?
There might be some.
Or then I guess it could be a security reasons as well.
Maybe, man. Someone could be throwing some bombs inside of some chorizo. I don't know.
I don't think they'd get chorizo. That's funny.
Well, I heard most people when they go to the White House, they don't get fed anyways. So this is actually
really?
This is a kind of a rarity that they even got food.
I thought that they had a luncheon or something like that.
That's what I thought too. They had some guys on a couple of podcasts this morning or on one of the radio stations, some sports guys that won from the Super Bowl. They said they never got fed, and most of the time you don't get fed there.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Whatever. So
yeah, I guess when you're hosting people, you would think that they would, have something like hors d'oeuvres or something,
Little smokies.
I don't like those.
They're not bad. But speaking of sports, you want to jump into my boy Kyler Murray?
Yeah, I think that he should choose baseball over football.
You know what? I'm a little undecided on that, but I would probably lean more towards football. And I think
Why?
I got a problem. I don't really know much about his baseball career. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, so that says a decent amount about him in his football life. But, I mean, what if he doesn't even make it to the MLB team? I mean, he's going to start out in AAA. I mean,
sure.
He's not going to see a ton of money from the get-go. I think he gets a signing bonus of $4.1 million or something like that.
Sure.
But that might be all he sees. I mean, what if his career doesn't pan out? There's so many guys that get drafted in the first round that never pan out.
Yeah. How does can he have it written in his contract that, he gets brought up at a certain time to play, or
maybe if his agent's
how does that
Scott
work?
Boras?
Well, who knows? I mean, he's a pretty big talent.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you can do that, man. I doubt you can. But
I'd never go and play in the NFL ever.
Well, I was noting to you off the air, telling you how Matt Stafford has been in the league 10 seasons, and Matt Stafford is what you would say maybe top 15, top 20 quarterback. I would maybe say in his career. And
it's hard to say, dude. I mean, I hate giving that guy that kind of credit because I've always thought that he's always been mediocre, like below mediocre. I mean, he was like Jay Cutler pretty much.
Right. I mean, I'm saying he's top 20 though, right? He's got to be that. He maintains a job. He's had a starting quarterback job for 10 years.
Yeah. But look at the organization that he's playing for though, too.
Oh, right. They haven't had much. And in comparison, Clayton Kershaw, who's been a top pitcher, he was probably the top 10 pitcher for quite some time. I
would definitely say that. I would say that he was in the top 3 for quite a while.
Right. But on an average, I would say, top 10 throughout his career. He's had a couple injury-plagued seasons, I think.
Sure.
He's played 11 seasons, and Clayton Kershaw has made 173 throughout his career, $173 million. Matt Stafford's made 178, in 10 seasons. So one less year playing, and he's made $3 million more. And obviously Matt Stafford has more to go. He's guaranteed for, I think, 4 more years of making some substantial cash. Clayton Kershaw is also guaranteed 3 more years of 31 mil. So they're both going to be ending up pretty good, man. They're both be over 260 mil for their careers, which I don't foresee them going past that. That goes to show you a mediocre quarterback can sometimes, go somewhat in comparison financially with a headlining pitcher. I mean, possibly.
Sure. But if you were to look at from a different perspective and you say, look at the top, say 30 pitchers and what they're earning and compare that to the top 30 quarterbacks and tell me which side is making more money.
That's a great comparison. We'll have to run that. I've never ran those numbers.
Yeah, neither have I. But I would definitely say that it would side with baseball. And on top of that, you don't have to worry about having 300-pound guys run you over every Sunday.
Right. And Kyler Murray is only 5'8" or something like that. So
yeah, I mean, you can walk away from baseball. You can walk away from baseball, man, and have like a terrific life. So a lot of guys walking away from football. They can't even remember their football careers, and all that money's gone.
If I was him, man, I'd do both.
Deion Sanders told them, he's like, you should take the bat, not the ball. play baseball.
Yeah,
and even the players union alone would, I think, trumps the NFL any day.
Yeah, and they're talking about a possible holdout in 2021 of some sort of work stoppage in the NFL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So because you know what? Because those guys want to get paid. They want revenue sharing, like the NBA does.
Oh man, the guys in the NBA are making hand over fist.
And you know what? They should.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are getting an obscene amount of monies.
Yeah, some guys that really suck are getting paid.
Yeah.
Like Timothy Mozgov, or whatever his name is. Oh my goodness, though. He was an ex-center for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's been on 4 teams since, and he's absolutely atrocious, and he's getting paid generously.
Look how much Blake Griffin is getting paid. What team has he ever been on that's gone somewhere?
Nowhere. Never.
Nowhere. He even played with Chris Paul, and they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, man. He's making $31 million a year right now. And actually, it's going to go up like $3 million every year for the next 5 years.
And I guarantee you, every April, he's going to come down with a hamstring injury.
Yeah. Yeah, and his team will never win a series in the playoffs.
Yeah, guarantee it.
Wow. Just to remind you guys, Monday and Thursday morning will be in your inbox, ready for you. Even if your wife isn't, we are. So
and even if your kids hate you, we don't.
If your kids don't want to see you, we do.
Mondays are our interview days. You'll have, when you wake up in the morning, a interview to listen to on your commute to work or your workout Monday morning. And Thursdays, you'll have a water cooler podcast.
Yeah, so
who do you got, man?
So why are we on the topics of sports? Yeah, I know where you're going. I know where you're going already.
I want to ask you.
It's a slow news day.
I want to know what you got.
And I know we're talking Patriots and Chiefs here, and you know I hate the Patriots.
What do you got?
I'm actually going to go with the Chiefs. Based on they're at home. It's going to be 14 degrees.
Uh-huh.
And I think their defensive line is going to show up pretty well again. It seems like their team doesn't know how to play hard until it gets playoff time. based upon last week's analysis.
Okay, I was about to say, because there isn't much of you don't have much to go on there.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots, dude, played against 7 defensive backs last week.
Yeah,
so and
they annihilated them.
And the Chargers never changed the scheme up. They never were like, our guys are getting ran over in the second level. What should we do? Oh, let's just keep doing what we're doing.
Let's take out those free safeties and put corners in there and see if that works.
Yeah, I think my big boy Andy Reid, the grimace of the NFL, is going to make sure his team is in fair shape and will adjust appropriately to what the Patriots have in store. What about you?
I'm not going to. I'm going to go with the Patriots, But I will say that Andy Reid is a much better coach, and I think that the coaching is I think it's going to come down to coaching than it was the players, because clearly it was just execution for the Patriots versus the Chargers. That's all that they had to do. They just had to go and execute, and that was it. The game was over as soon as they walked onto the field. But Patriots Chiefs, I think it's going to be more of a coaching battle than it is. Obviously the players are going to battle on the field, and it's going to be execution, but it's going to be coaching.
Sure.
I'm going with the Patriots. I do like the Chiefs, though. I do like the Chiefs. I do like Andy Reid. I think that he's been a very good coach his entire career. But I think the Chiefs' Cinderella time is about to come over. It's about to end.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see in a few days here. And on the other side of things, the Rams face off at New Orleans Saints. Who do you got there?
Who gives a shit?
Wow.
I hate both of these.
Hold on. I thought Drew Brees was your boy.
He's cool, man, but you know what?
He's cool, man, but
but I'm over it, man. I'm over it. I don't think that he has enough left in the tank to pull him through. All that they need to do is hit him a couple times and he's going to fold, because he doesn't have enough left in the tank. I'm not saying he's not a tough guy. I'm saying that he can't take any more punishment at his age. And that Rams defensive line, man, it's going to give them trouble.
On
and
paper,
you know what?
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, on paper it's great, and yeah, the Saints beat them in the regular season. But you know what? It's not the regular season anymore. And they've got when is that? Was that like 7 games ago, possibly?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And yeah, the Saints beat them handily, but I think the Rams are going to come out on top.
Yeah, I guess the only reason I am picking the Saints is because of I don't like Jared Goff.
I don't either.
He's pretty. I think he's below average quarterback, but because Timothy McVay. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, wow. You went
Sean
got
McVay.
a video over there?
Sorry. Went over. A lot of people probably don't even know what we're talking about, but Sean McVay, he has that little 13 seconds, 15 seconds to talk to his quarterback, and then that time is out. I mean, that place gets pretty loud from what I hear.
Yeah.
And if homeboy can't hear his quarterback tell him, what blitzes are coming at him, it's going to be a long day for him. And he's like Glass Joe. I think he's going to get broken in half. And I like the Saints.
Yeah, that's a good because does Jared Goff, does he audible a lot?
His coach audibles for him.
Does he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, the Saints have a weak defense.
They do, man.
So
they do.
If the Rams defense can hold that Saints offense, and the Rams offense can execute, I think it's game over.
Right.
What if Drew Brees gets hit by Stu, dirty hit, and he's out for the game? It's game over. That's it.
Well, then you got Teddy Bridgewater coming in. I like TB12. I don't know his number.
Yeah, who did he get drafted by? Was that Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, remember
I like Bridgewater.
He was supposed to be that big thing, and he fizzled.
Yeah, he tore an ACL in practice, and he never got a second chance.
Ah, man, that's brutal.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. He must not look very good for them not to give him another chance. Multiple teams.
Yeah, maybe they saw something coming down the pipe.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So what do you got on the Cubs, man?
What do I have on the Cubs? Well, I'm not putting $100 on them again this year. That's for sure.
Ricketts, he was saying, hey, we're gonna change things. We'll be back next year, and there hasn't been a lot of change.
Yeah, they're not gonna. So you're telling me they're not gonna go? They're not gonna do any spending this winter, correct?
Right. That's the rumors out on the street.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It doesn't mean they're not gonna do any trading. I mean, Schwarber's probably going to go at some point. That outfield's crowded. You got 5 guys playing out there.
We got to get somebody from the AL from him.
Yeah.
A decent reliever.
Yeah.
Dude, Schwarber could thrive in the AL.
Yeah, man. I'm sure he'll do great. He'll do great things like Maddox did to us.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like Tuffy Rhodes did to us. Like Candy Maldonado did to us.
Candy Maldonado. How about Louis Gonzalez?
like Louis Gonzalez did to us. He went from hitting 24 home runs to freaking 58.
Yeah, he turned into a freaking animal.
Yeah. I wonder if he has taken any steroids by chance. Oh, yeah. I think he was.
Maybe. Kind of like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky 4. Dude, did you see him between Rocky 2 and Rocky 4?
You know, if you watch him between Rocky 2 and 3, he's got like an 8-pack already. But yeah, Rocky 4, he's even more ripped.
Yeah, dude, he's unbelievable in Rocky 4.
Were you watching the marathon the other day on AMC?
You bet your sweet ass I was.
So was I.
I told Kimmy, I'm like, don't pay attention to me. Rocky 3 was on. I was like, don't worry if you hear me crying over here, because when Mick goes down, man.
Oh man.
Oh my God, man. Every single freaking time. Every single time.
You cry?
Yeah, a little bit.
even though you know it's coming?
I do, man. Because, it's like, Mick was his guy, man. He was his his North Star. Well, I would say Adrian was more of his North Star, but he could always count on Mick. He could always count on him. What did he say? What did Mick tell him? He's like, I think he was in Rocky too. He's like, when we're done with you, they're gonna need to put you in a cage.
So when Adrian's like, when he's telling Adrian, what am I supposed to do? And Mick's like, you know what? He jumps in the middle. Well, you know what? Just what do you mean? What are you supposed to do? You go out there and do it. Do it. And so at that point, that's when you're like getting welting up like Kim. Go in the other room now. Now.
What do you mean you're gonna do? You bum.
Yeah.
You're gonna go out there more. You're gonna more to him.
You're the champ.
Yeah. You hear me?
Somebody give me some sausage over here.
Oh man, yeah. That one, man,
went out like a punk.
He went out, dude. He went out like a G, dude. He went out like a G.
He got pushed against a railing.
Yeah, but he was like freaking 90 years old, dude.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, that railing had no give.
He was on his deathbed, and he's like, "Go on ahead, go and hold the line. I got it over here."
That's great. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, though. Thanks for sharing that with our listeners.
Man, Rocky 4, man. Even Apollo, I get a little teary every time.
Oh yeah, Apollo.
They bond at the end of, because they were enemies in 1 and 2, and then Rocky doesn't know what to do. I don't know what to do, Adrian. It's who I am.
It seems to be the common theme in all those movies. Rocky never really knows what to do. Yeah. What am I supposed to do? Dad, he took my room. What am I supposed to do about Tommy Gunn? He wants to live here too. I can't just cut your room in half there, Junior. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I mean, he lacks some really decision making, I mean, he was spending his whole wad in Rocky 4, and then Rocky 5, he's poor as hell.
Yeah. That was what's his name's fault, though, wasn't it?
It was his investor. I think Paulie signed off on some stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, I thought it was signing off on furniture. And then
what do you expect me to do, Rock?
The guy had 2 rum and cokes, and he thought he was signing off on furniture, and he ended up signing off on the house to just lend it out to some bums.
Yeah, it's no kidding.
You lost the money. He gave it all back or whatever.
Yeah.
And that poor fucking robot. Nobody ever said what happened to that guy.
Because nobody cared. I didn't care either. I was like,
happy birthday, Paulie. He's like, I kept the damn robot in my garage.
No, man, him and Apollo, man, they were, I guess they always had Apollo liked Rocky because of his heart, and he thought he can beat him and he couldn't. And then, he trains him in Rocky 3. And then, what's his name? Apollo goes out on a shield, dude, in Rocky 4. He's like, you don't stop this fight, no matter what.
No matter what.
Dude, I'll tell you what, dude, Carl Weathers was freaking huge.
But here again, when Rocky was getting ready to stop the fight and throw the towel, he's like, in his head, he was thinking, what am I supposed to do? Adrian, what am I supposed to do? Goddamn towel! Throw the goddamn towel! Yeah. Yeah. Every movie, man, he doesn't know what to do. That poor guy.
And then, what is it? Rocky? No, not Rocky. And what was it? Rocky 6? Rocky or just Rocky? Then he becomes the sage when he's giving out advice.
Yeah,
I didn't see the Creed movies yet. They were. I heard that they were pretty good.
Yeah, they weren't bad, man. I mean, the guy that didn't know what to do his whole life is now giving advice.
Yeah, he's good advice though. At the same time.
Yeah, he had some good quotes in there. There's some pretty good ones.
Yeah, he did.
We were watching, Sarah and I were watching it, Rocky 3, and he's like getting into bed, and he's got his shirt off, and he starts singing, I'm gonna go do. And Adrian's like, do. He's like, no, it's do. And then Sarah's like, my wife Sarah's like, how come you never do that to me? Like, what the fuck? Why would I come into bed saying, do? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I would never do that. I'm not an idiot. We're getting totally off track. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Now let's get on. If we're going to do that, we're going to go way off track, and we're going to go into let's go into Big Trouble in Little China.
Love that movie.
Because what were we talking about in Rocky? Something brought up Big Trouble in Little China. Because the one guy, the bad guy, Lo Pan, he's in like a ton of 80s movies.
I didn't know that, man.
A ton of them, dude.
Really?
Yeah, wasn't he in Tango and Cash?
Man, I don't know.
Yeah,
he probably was. Usually those guys are all recycled, aren't they?
Yeah. A lot of the bad guys in the 80s movies were like bad guys in all of the 80s movies. Mm-hmm. Like Die Hard, the one Chinese guy in Die Hard. Mm-hmm. He was like in every action movie. And he was always in every action movie. He was always like the one guy that needed to be dealt with, He might not have been like the main bad guy, but he was like maybe like one of the bad guys you didn't want to have to deal with,
He was the same bad guy in Bloodsport, or
he was.
Chung Li. That was Chung Li.
Oh no, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't. He wasn't in that.
Yeah, I liked when they. I love the part like in the elevator or like little parts of Big Trouble in Little China where they're coming out the water and they're all wet and then they get dry and they're like rolling on dusty floors.
Yeah,
we're drinking that potion inside the elevator going up with all the Asian gangs. Man, I'm like, I feel good. Have some of this. Gives you strength, I'm like, ooh, I want some of that. Some little smoking drink.
That'd be a perfect part for like when he hands him the drink for like that part in Predator to come up with Jesse Ventura. This should make you a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Jesse Ventura, man, he's the man.
Yeah, he was. I was watching Predator.
Is he dead?
No. I believe he's still alive.
Oh, okay. He was. I was like, oh God, I didn't know he passed away, man.
Yeah, I was watching Predator like last week. Actually, my cousin Brandon came by and he wanted to watch some movies, so we put on. I watched Venom with him because he wanted to watch that, and then afterwards I was like, "Have you ever seen any of the Predator movies?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I put on Predator 1 for him, and I'm like, "I'm gonna let you know, man, this movie's freaking awesome." Mm-hmm. So put that on, dude, and there were so many great one-liners in it, Just from the beginning to the end. Oh man, what a great movie! And you know what I realized was that Kook from Commando was in it.
Fucking Kook's in there.
Yeah, man, he was in it. He was what's his name? Billy.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I'll go get him, Dutch. He's like, that's not your style, Dylan. You just tell him to hold that chopper.
Dude, 80s movies, man. They're awesome.
Even the 90s movies were really good.
Yeah.
You know, think about it. Keanu Reeves has been kicking ass for a long time.
Yeah.
He's made it through the 90s. He made it through the millennium 2000s, and he's kicking ass as John Wick right now.
Right. Man, what is that guy taking, huh? What is he on?
He was Johnny Utah. He was who else was he? He was Neo.
Mm-hmm.
And who else was he? He was what's his name in Speed. That was a good one. I don't know whatever the character's name was. I forgot his name. And who else was he? I know he had to have been somebody else before John Wick. And he's John Wick now. That's like 5 huge characters. How many people can say that from 1990 to now that they've been,
It's like how many people can really spell Keanu in Google search? Because I just tried and I totally messed it up.
Let me give it a shot. Is it
Point Break? Yeah, Johnny Utah. He was Jack Traven in Speed.
Jack. What are you gonna do, Jack? Question time. Pop quiz, Jack.
I didn't realize he was in so many movies. 47 Ronin.
Yeah, that was all right. I watched it.
Yeah, well, you are a lover of Keanu Reeves.
He's awesome, dude.
Born in 1964 in Beirut.
Point Break alone was a phenomenal
movie. Did you see the remake of it?
I did. And you know what? I see what they were trying to do, but they should have I think they could have changed a few more things about the story. Maybe like the dude who was Bodhi was really good, but in the original Point Break, you can see like the relationship that they were forming. And so at the end, when the twist came at the end, it wasn't really a twist, but you could tell that what's his name, Johnny Utah, that he was kind of like one of them. He was like a surfer and he was searching, but at the same time he was on the side of the law. And in the new Point Break, I just didn't I didn't buy it. I didn't buy him obviously he was like a extreme sports a polyathlete, but I didn't get the relationship with him and Bodhi. It wasn't the same. And I think that's what made the original Point Break movie.
Wow. So I'm reading up on him really quickly here, just because it caught my eye. I didn't know he had a child that was stillborn.
Yeah. And then his fiance died in a car crash 2 weeks after that.
Oh, my God.
Having a bad month.
Wow. I did not know this information. This is from 1999 to 2001.
I also heard that he gave up, I think, 90 or 100 million of his Matrix money to the crew so that they could get paid.
Damn.
And I also heard recently that he's been funding I believe, a children's hospital under he has a foundation that takes care of it, but he says he doesn't attach his name to it because he doesn't want them to get any unneeded attention.
Right.
So he's I let them do their thing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's the real deal right there, man.
Not a huge fan of his work, but I'm a fan of him as a person.
I'm both.
We'll say that. As a man, and he is the man. God bless this guy. Did say that he did practice like Buddhism and atheism and being an atheist. What the hell? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
I don't know about that shit either. Interesting stuff, though, man. I didn't know. It's funny when you look up people and you're like, wow, these Crazy stories. He's 54 years old. He does not look 54 years old.
No, he doesn't.
Jeez. This guy
Have
looks great.
Have you seen any of the John Wick movies?
I have not. The last movie I've seen of his is Matrix.
Okay.
One of the 4 or whatever. They're
pretty good. I mean, if you're looking for like hey, I'm going to go see an action movie. I'm not looking for much of a story. The story's not bad either. To be honest with you, I dig them. I think that they're really good. I like them. Yeah.
You know what, man? I don't watch a ton of action movies anymore. I think the only thing I really watch is probably comedies.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is deathly afraid of any kind of scary movies, so I haven't seen anything scary in a long time.
So what do you think of like scary movie? Is that like horror, or does like suspense fall into that as well?
Like horror.
Okay. Horror, like gore and stuff like that.
Yeah, like It. That would be like, oh no, my wife wouldn't be able to handle that.
Gosh.
And I did actually when she went to bed one night, I stayed up late and watched it because I wanted to watch it. It was great. I mean, it was kind of, it was just creepy, man, just scary.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife doesn't, she doesn't want to have anything to do with that stuff either. Zero.
Yep. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's wild stuff.
What else you got? Have you seen any old movies, any old classics?
I don't watch a ton of TV except for sports. So I'm pretty much, I guess I'm what you would call a douchebag. I don't.
You took it right out of my mouth.
Yeah, I know. I'll put it back in your mouth if you want, but you sick fuck. But no, man, I don't watch a ton of anything else. Just some sports stuff, but a couple movies here and there. And we plan to actually maybe go to the movies in the next 2 weeks. It's crazy when you start having kids and stuff. You're like, I got to plan a movie date like 2 weeks in advance.
What are you going to go see?
Glass,
yeah. I want to see it. Yeah. We've
watched the two prequels, and that's the only 2 movies we've seen in the past probably 6 months. So we're like, this is I guess this is where the road leads. You have to see part 3 now at the movie theater.
Sure. I want to see, was that Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
That looks really good.
Was Captain Marvel always a woman in the comics as well?
Well, it's kind of she has like more of like a convoluted, not I want to say convoluted story, but they like retconned it a few times. There's like one where she gets her powers from, like this guy, Captain Marvel. And then there's like another version where where she gets into like I think like a plane crash or something with a Kree, and her DNA fuses with some of the Kree's DNA, and then she gets powers. I don't know what they're doing with the movie, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
All right, yeah, I wasn't sure. I guess I got it mixed up with Shazam, I think, and that's where I was like, that's Shazam. And then I seen a preview to Shazam coming out too, and I was like, it's a totally different take on it. It's kind of like just totally comedy, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is. It's DC. It's like this kid. Apparently, he gets like powers somehow, and then when he activates the powers, he becomes Shazam, and he's like a grown man, but like the mind of a kid.
Yeah,
that's so it's supposed to be pretty funny. It's kind of like you.
That's pretty funny. That is me. It's like backwards though. The mind of a child. I can't even fucking read. But what other movies and stuff have you been into, man? I know you're more into the movies and shows and things like that.
I will. If I get into like like say there's like a storyline with something, I'll get into it. Obviously, Game of Thrones is coming out, and originally they said it was supposed to be the summer of 2019, but they said this week it's April 14th. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing that come to an end. The first few seasons were pretty slow, and then they really picked up after, I'd say, season 5. They were really, really, really good. And anything with a good story, I guess, because like whenever I'm like cleaning or doing some ironing or something, I got to put something on,
Right.
But like
Yeah.
that's not one of those shows that you can just like iron to though, because you kind of have to pay attention.
Right, right.
And True Detective's the same way.
So you got to pay attention. You can't like have that stuff on the background. You actually got to make sure you're watching it closely.
Yeah, because you'll miss things, and then, and to be honest with you, like you'll miss things like in the show, like little things where you can appreciate it if you watch the whole episode. If then coming in here and there, and then and at the same time, you won't know what the hell's going on.
Have you ever watched Seinfeld?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I've only been able to stomach watching it, like maybe like a half hour of it every 7 years or so.
Stomach. It's different, man. I mean, that's probably the only show I watch religiously is Seinfeld. If it's on, I'm in.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not funny, but I'm saying it's like it came on. I remember as a kid, it came on after some show that I used to watch, and I hated it because I wanted to watch more of my show. And then Seinfeld would come on. I'm like, God, this show freaking sucks. This guy in this freaking mullet walking around like a complete freaking idiot. If you really think about it, Seinfeld is kind of like Rocky, What do I do? Let's go over here. My hands are sweaty, he's always talking about something, like retarded,
Yeah, it is totally about nothing.
Yeah.
That's funny. I got into it years later after it went off the air. I watched a couple episodes and I was like, wait a second, these episodes they all go together. And I'm so late to the party on it. And then I got obsessed with it years ago, and I watched like every episode every night when I went to bed. And then now I just have them all recorded, and I plug one in whenever I need to go to sleep, because I know every episode by heart. I can go to sleep like very easily and just close my eyes and actually watch the show without watching it. That's how messed up it is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm heavy.
I can't watch TV and then go to sleep. Like my mind is just activated,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. Are you looking forward to the next Avengers?
I am. I'm ready to see how it ends. And you know what? I think that's like in every good story, it has a conclusion. It doesn't go on forever. And then you could pick up with some of the pieces that you have, and you could start something new. But I'm looking forward to an ending, and see how it pans out. I'd like to see the heroes pick themselves up. Captain Marvel comes into the game, and she helps out, and they come together, and they I don't want to give any ideas, because who knows, I might guess the ending to it. So I'm not going to say anything, but what I'm thinking. But I think
we're getting a bunch of hate mail for spoiler alerts over here.
Yeah, and then I'll have to send off a ton of fuck off emails back.
or you got to issue an apology.
I'm not apologizing to anybody. not for something like that.
I'm sorry for spoiling the whole thing for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the movie.
But I'm looking forward to that, and then that Spider-Man movie too. That Spider-Man trailer came out.
Is this the part of the third reboot of it or whatever?
Yeah, did you see the Spider-Man Homecoming?
No, man. Once I seen that one Spider-Man where he's crying, I was like, I'm never watching this shit ever again.
You know what, man? Spider-Man 3 completely. It absolutely destroyed Spider-Man for a long time. And I watched the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, and it was pretty good. It was all right. And then I read, but then I was still sour on Spider-Man 3. So I read Marvel's Civil War. That was really, really good. And so what they did was when they made the Civil War movie, they brought Spider-Man in, which I thought was really cool because he was a big character in the Civil War comic. And I thought it was cool how they brought him in. Tony was kind of like a mentor to him, and when they did Spider-Man Far From Home, I think that it was really important that Tony Stark was in it so that he could, still continue that mentoring thing, so that in Avengers in Avengers Infinity War when Spider-Man dies. And if you haven't seen Infinity War, and I ruined it for you, you need to take yourself out from underneath a rock. So
you need to visit your local Blockbuster Video ASAP.
They had it out for forever. It's been on Netflix for weeks, at least since I think Christmas. So if you hadn't seen it, you didn't want to see it, and you didn't really care about it. So yeah, that whole part when he died, I thought that was huge. Like you could feel it because
right.
they've been together for so.
He's like, Mr. Stark, what's happening to me?
I don't feel good.
And then he fades off into like a bowl of bugles, like he's just into a bunch of chips just flying away.
Bugles, you bring up bugles. Dude, every time I've had bugles, I'm like, God, I'm hungry. I want to eat something. I eat bugles, and then afterwards, I'm like, I completely regret that decision. Every single freaking time, man.
It's funny. I say bugles because I love them, but I never can find them.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good thing. It's like having a drink, it's like, hey, should we have this last shot or should we have this other beer, And then you have it. And then the next day, every bridge that you cross, you're thinking about jumping off.
I see it as like, listen, I've gone this far. I'm going to feel like crap already tomorrow. I might as well just go all the way in.
There's degrees to it. There's, you can come back from it. There's like being hungover, and then there's holy hell hungover.
Man, the places I go, I've never quite come back.
Yeah, I think I've left a part of me. I think I've left a part of me every time too.
I'm never going to regenerate those parts of me again. Yeah. And so I guess we got nothing more to add here. This is just another day at the water cooler every Thursday for you all. And then don't forget to tune back in on Monday for another life-changing interview. We got some interesting stuff coming your way.
We've got an interview with a Chicago police officer, and I think it's a really good one, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it.
So, yeah, man, you guys have a great evening and have a great weekend as well. So we'll talk to you again Monday.
Take it easy, guys.